I'm Kelly from HappyU, and today's happiness hack is your diet. Now, I know your diet is like massive in it. What you eat is just such like a huge part of your life. And so hopefully what I'm going to say today is I'm just going to throw out there a few kind of ideas and suggestions that you can do to make small changes to your diet and to your lifestyle. I'm not going to sit here and suggest some kind of big, massive diet change because, first of all, I'm not a big believer in those kind of things, because I think that if you make a drastic change or on a drastic diet, you know, we all know, don't we, more often than not, it lasts however long, and then, you know, you go back to your old ways of eating and you revert back to your bad habits and then blah, blah, blah. And I'm just not big on that, you know, like I will keep saying throughout all these videos, I'm very much someone who believes in small changes that are manageable, that don't make you feel like, oh, deprived and horrible, you know, because it's, if you start doing anything like that, whether it's exercise, diet, mindset stuff, whatever it is, if you feel like it's just awful when you are making these changes, then you're just not going to stick to it. So I'm very much a massive advocate of like small changes, really, really gradually. So first thing you need to do is kind of look at your diet as it is right now and where you're at with it, and be really honest with yourself. You know, if you really think, actually, I'm really good, I don't eat a lot of processed food, I've got plenty of fruit and veg in my diet, you know, I don't have a load of sugar, I don't drink loads of alcohol, whatever. If you can sit back and think, you know, I'm doing all right, then that's fantastic. You know, your diet's probably not something you need to worry about. We can all improve, can't we? You know, I'm reasonably good, but there's areas that I can improve in. So what I'm just going to do is share some tips and ideas, and then you just take on board whatever you think. So I am going to keep looking down because I have got my notebook. So first thing is, keep your food as natural as possible. Processed, packaged food is just not as good for your body as natural food. So I know nowadays this whole vegan and a plant-based diet is becoming a big deal. And the reason why it's becoming such a big deal is it's good for the environment and it's good for your body. Now, the one thing that I want to mention with regards to this is that, you know, there seems to be this thing of like sticking a label on yourself, or other people sticking a label on you. So people are like, I'm a this, I'm a that. So there's vegetarian, pescatarian, vegan, plant-based, flexitarian, apparently transgerian, which was a fantastic one that I did. And there's all these like labels, and I'm not big on that, because I think if you put yourself in a box and say, so the idea of going from being a meat eater to vegan, it's massive. You know, that thought, you're kidding me, I'm never going to be able to have cheese on a pizza. You'd just be like, no way, I'm not going to do that. So my little idea, I call myself, right, a 6-day vegan. Now, don't laugh, I'll explain. What I mean is, I don't eat a great deal of processed food. I just don't. I am pretty good, right? But I'm not going to say that I am a vegan or I have a plant-based diet, because if I go out to a restaurant, right, and I'm looking at a menu, and often the vegan option is pretty or boring or whatever, and it doesn't float my boat. If there's an option on there that's got a bit of cheese on it, right, I'm not going to deny myself having an enjoyable meal because I am a vegan. Do you see what I mean? And so that's why I say I'm a 6-day vegan, because what I believe is that, you know, if you're making changes, whether or not you go all in and you're the full-on 7-day lifestyle change, I am this, I am that, then fantastic, that's great. But if you just want to make a little change or a little step in that direction, then to me, all steps in that direction are good for you and for the planet. So think of it like there's 21 meals that you have in a week, right? So rather than saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to cut out this, I'm going to cut out that, why don't you just say to yourself, I am going to, you know, change my breakfasts. I'm going to change my morning routine when it comes to my diet. Instead of having toast, butter and jam and a cup of coffee, I'm going to have a smoothie. Or, you know, I'm going to have fruit juice or something like that. You know, there's so many changes that you can make. There are a million now books out there. You know, if you go on YouTube, if you go online for ideas and inspirations for breakfast, dinners and teas that are less processed and that are more natural. So that's my big thing, is eating more naturally. So my breakfast generally like porridge with peanut butter and banana. That's what I have. I have loads of soups. I'm big into like homemade soups and things like that. And then for my dinners, I do try and like make new recipes and stuff like that, but I'll be honest, when you're just cooking for yourself, you're not into like creating these magical sort of big dinners. And so this whole new diet change for me, as far as kind of being plant-based, is something that it's only been the last few months for me, so I'm definitely learning. But I want to make those changes because it's good for me and my body and for the environment. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is just bring in changes slow and steady, and do it in a way that you enjoy in doing it. You're not like, oh God, I can't stand eating this food, it's so boring. Because what I am finding is now, because I've made the changes over, you know, a period of time, I've always been really healthy. I don't want you to think that I only started getting healthy a few months ago, but this whole like absolute no to meat and things like that, that's kind of come along quite recently. But the point I'm saying is that it's been a gradual change for me. And what actually happens is that as you do start to change your diet and the kinds of foods that you eat, you actually find yourself less drawn to the bad stuff. And I actually now am more drawn to the good stuff. It's like my body kind of craves it and wants it. You know, the idea in the past of like a burger and chips with cheese all over it, I'd have gone, oh yeah, definitely. But now, honestly, like something's changed within me, and when I see that, I just don't crave it anymore. I don't want it. I don't know, I've just changed. So you can change, is what I'm trying to say. It is possible. So yeah, so just start with whether it's your breakfasts, or cut out those crappy snacks that we all have, you know, in a morning or whatever, or change the snacks, substitute the chocolate bar for fruit, you know, all these little changes that we can make, but just do everything really, really gradually. The big thing for me that I really, really encourage is eat as much fruit and veg as you possibly can. I know everyone says about this 5 a day thing, but seriously, like, make a smoothie in the morning, just bang in a load of stuff, and you've cracked 3 of your 5 a day already in a smoothie. You know, it's easier than you think sometimes to get that 5 a day in you. If you are gonna eat meat, which is totally cool, do whatever you want to do, try and go for grass-fed organic meat. It is a little bit more expensive, but it's just better for you and better for the environment. If you're gonna have like sugary things, try and go for natural sugars as opposed to artificial sugars. I'm really getting into now like making my own stuff, my own treats, and then I freeze it, and then when I go out I like shove it in my bag and stuff like that, so that if I am gonna reach for something, I've already got it there ready, and I'm not tempted to just like go into the petrol station or whatever and buy the chocolate. I have a tub in my car. Honestly, it's ridiculous, and it's got nuts and seeds, but I've like stuck in there like little bits of fudge and little bits of chocolate just to make it a bit exciting. So I'm still having the nuts and the seeds, but I'm also getting that kind of chocolate hit at the same time. It's about just making things as enjoyable as you can whilst also making the changes. Yeah, I'm a big grazer as well, so I'm not always kind of a breakfast, lunch, tea kind of girl. I do graze throughout the day. I really listen to my body. And as well with that, you know, if I'm out and I'm in a restaurant, because I am sort of quite good with my diet, well, not Monday to Friday, but, you know, the majority of the time, I do when I'm out and I'm having a meal, I will have a pudding, and I'll love it. I'll absolutely love it, because I just kind of think, you know, I'm not going to deny myself it, because if you deny yourself something all the time, your life's just miserable, and that's not what it's all about, you know. And if you're good, you know, your 21 meals, if you're really good 15 of those meals or whatever, then go for it when you're out and you're having a meal, or, you know, someone invites you around for dinner, and have those treats, and just, you know, be kind to yourself and be good to yourself, because you know, food is there to be enjoyed, in it. It really is. So don't deny yourself anything. I certainly don't. I'm very much moderation girl, but I don't deny myself anything, because I just think it makes you miserable. Yeah. Celebrate your victories. This is like what I'll end on, actually. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, don't set yourself unrealistic goals and unrealistic targets that you're going to become this like dream machine that only eats like green juices and all of that, because it's just such a unreasonable or unsustainable thing to do. It's hard, it makes you unhappy, and when you set yourself such high targets, when you have your tumbles and you fall off the healthy food wagon, whatever you want to call it, you feel like a failure, don't you? And we don't want that. We don't want anyone feeling like a failure. You want to celebrate your victories, you know. And so if for the first week or whatever, if for these next 7 days you just decide, right, okay, normally when I go to work, I always take with me a donut or a chocolate bar at lunch times. You know, just decide for these next 7 days, just knock it on the head and just put in like a bit of fruit. Or there's so many of these kind of like bars that's out there nowadays that are actually healthy, but you know, they're in that kind of shiny wrapper, so they look like a treat, they taste like a treat, but they're just not as bad as the big fat chocolate bars. So yeah, so celebrate your victories. When you do make a positive change, celebrate it. Don't kind of focus on the negatives, focus on the positives. And again, life's just about enjoying yourself, having fun, being creative in the kitchen. I know certainly for me now I have changed my diet, I am definitely a lot more creative in the kitchen. But just be kind to yourself, listen to your body and look after your body, because honestly, once you start loving your body in this way, you just feel good. You just do. It's one of those things, and when you kind of get into that vibe, so when you've had like maybe a week or 2 weeks of making some changes and starting to feel good, that feeling becomes like addictive, and you just want more of it, and so it encourages you to keep on going and making these little changes that all add up. So that's the happiness hack for today. And if you want to like this video, then you can. If you want to subscribe to get notifications on future videos, then just hit the subscribe button and the little belly thing. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you all again soon. Thanks for listening.